You are now listening to the Timber Industry Podcast. Please take note of the large fallen longleaf pine near the end of the garden trail, one of the few hints of the formerly forested site. The piney woods of southern Mississippi is a region characterized by its relatively flat landscape and its impressive stands of longleaf pine forest. Historically, underbrush was kept to a minimum thanks to controlled fires. Early settlers only cleared enough timber to provide minimal fields and to construct houses, barns, and fences from the longleaf wood, leaving ample forest land. In the early lumbering days before the railroads, logs were cut and rafted down rivers and waterways from the inland piney woods to the bays along the Gulf Coast. There, mills would process the collected timbers into lumber. The milled wood would either be shipped by boat around the world or used in the naval industry at the coast shipyards. Logging and rafting declined around the turn of the century, mainly because most of the prime timber had been cut near the streams. However, with the advent of the railroad in 1885, commercial lumbering continued full speed ahead as the piney woods timber was aggressively harvested and railroad spurs canvassed the region. Lumber camps that popped up along the railroad were mobile and would typically lay down tracks for spurs, clear-cut the adjacent area, haul logs out on the railroads, and then pull up the tracks and move on to the next forested area. In addition, related industries like turpentine and charcoal production sprang up alongside the main logging camps. During the period between 1890 and 1930, whole towns sprang up around these camps, including the town of Barth, which was incorporated in 1917 and already in decline by the late 1920s. Accounts from Shaw family members and neighbors recall the complete clear-cut of the virgin pines by the late 1920s. Unfortunately, this coincided with the Great Depression and put an entire industry out of work. Indeed, most sawmills in the area were forced to close in the 1930s due to widespread clear-cutting of the native virgin yellow pines. Today, some 80 years after the clear-cut of the virgin yellow pine, modern forestry conservation practices have revived the timber industry in southern Mississippi. Large swaths of piney woods are now part of DeSoto National Forest. The timber growers replant trees and carefully choose standing pines to cut, striking a balance between turning a profit today and long-term management for the future. Please proceed to the old corn crib at the eastern edge of the Homestead site to listen to the next podcast.